If your minimalist photos look more empty than elegant, in this video I'm going to show you how to fix them. We've all seen them, those jaw-dropping, clean minimalist photos that stop you scrolling. But when you try it, something's off. Your photos don't look elegant and intentional, they just look empty. Don't worry, you're not a bad photographer, and you definitely don't need a new camera. You just need to understand a few composition rules. And in this video, we're going to crack the code on how to use 5 key elements to instantly take your shots from bland to breathtaking. To understand how to make your photos better, you first need to understand what is going wrong. The number one reason minimalist photos fall flat is a total misunderstanding of the main idea. Minimalism isn't about having nothing in the frame. It's about finding one incredibly strong focal point that the entire image orbits around. It's about ruthlessly stripping away every single distraction so the viewer has no choice but to lock onto the one thing you've decided is important. A boring photo usually has a weak subject, a random rock, a patch of grass that doesn't stand out. An interesting minimalist photo, on the other hand, has a subject that makes you ask a question or feel a story, even in its simplicity. Take a look at your photos. Is it instantly obvious what you're supposed to be looking at? If the viewer's eye is just wandering around, searching for a place to land, you've already lost them. Your subject needs character. So your first mission is to stop looking for emptiness and start hunting for a powerful protagonist for your photograph. Before you even lift the camera, ask yourself this: what's the one thing here that has a story to tell? Find it, isolate it, and make it the hero. A minimalist photo with a weak subject is just a boring, simplistic picture. But a powerful subject, given room to breathe, that's the foundation for everything else. Now, my second point is one of the most misunderstood concepts in all of minimalist photography: negative space. Most people get this wrong, see negative space as just the empty part of the photo, the blank wall, the open sky, the still water. But that thinking is exactly what leads us to boring images. Here's the secret that changes everything. Negative space isn't empty, it's an active, powerful, and absolutely essential part of your composition. It's the visual pause that gives your main subject breathing room. Think of it like the silence between notes in music. Without the silence, you just have noise. Without negative space, your photo is just clutter. The trick is to use negative space with purpose. It's the tool you use to point a giant invisible arrow directly at your subject. It's not just a background, it's a dynamic force that creates balance, tension, and mood. This space is what helps tell the story. It can make your subject look small and vulnerable, or triumphant and grand. So let's go and put it into practice.
Here we are in Morecambe, and I'm going to try and capture some minimalist photos. Now, our first tip is think in ratios, and a good ratio to work with is have 80% negative space and 20% of your subject or the point of interest. And think about your composition. Don't just stick your subject in the middle. Use the composition rules you already know, leading lines, rule of thirds, and so on. And that way, for example, you won't just have a picture of a boat. If you have it on the rule of thirds and you have it off to one side, then you've got a boat sailing into something. So you're telling a story about a boat going on a voyage, not just the picture of a boat surrounded by negative space.
Now, I know at this stage you might be thinking, am I using negative space effectively? Am I choosing the right subject to anchor my shot? If you're an advanced beginner or an early intermediate photographer, chances are you're doing a lot right, but also bumping against the same frustrations: flat images, cluttered compositions, or photos that just don't feel like what you envisioned. So here's how I can help. You can book a free discovery call with me. It's a no-pressure chat where we can talk through your specific challenges, your goals, and how to move your photography forward, personally, practically,
and at your own pace. Just click the link you'll find right at the top of the video description to book your call. Whether you're wrestling with composition, creative confidence, or camera settings, this is your chance to get tailored advice and a clear next step. The next step of your minimalist photography journey is to simplify your scene ruthlessly. This is more than just decluttering, it's about looking for anything that is disruptive in your photograph. The best minimalist photos have clean lines, simple geometric shapes. Our brains are wired to find order in chaos. When you give a viewer a composition that feels cluttered, there's nowhere for their eye to rest, and that's uncomfortable. It won't have any impact. But if you can give them a composition that feels more structured, that leads them to the subject you want them to look at, it feels deliberate and instantly more satisfying. Train your eye to see the world as a collection of lines and shapes. Look for a perfect sharp diagonal or a shadow created by sunlight hitting a tall building, for example, or the repeating triangles of roofs or the shadows of them on the pavement. These elements are the skeleton of your image, guiding the viewer's eye exactly where you want it to go. A road or a promenade can be a pathway that leads you right to the subject. Colour can be your secret tool. A frame with too many colours is confusing. But if you can isolate just one colour against a contrasting background, that'll really make your photo pop. The other way is to look for scenes that are naturally monochromatic. A few here today, the sky and the sea are almost both grey, so very monochromatic background. And if in doubt, switch to black and white. Black and white is used a lot by minimalists, and there's a good reason for that. It helps to simplify what you're looking at. So actively hunt for the strong lines, the colours, the shapes that you give your image a strong, distinctive look. Sometimes, let's get real, the world is just messy. You can see this beach today is packed with people. So your secret weapon in this case is to use the facilities you've got available in your camera. Go for a very shallow depth of field. Choose a really wide aperture. That'll help to eliminate some distractions from your scene. And don't forget to move around. Sometimes changing your viewpoint and perspective will make a huge difference. If you get really low, maybe you can isolate your subject against the sky. Or if you get high up, you can isolate it against a plain bit of ground. Another game changer is to use a long exposure. That's what I've been doing with this photograph of the boats on the water here. By setting my exposure time, I think I've got it around 100 seconds, then it helps to smooth out the water. So any texture from the waves will be eliminated. It'll look smooth and silky, and that'll help to take away one of the distractions. Just a quick tip here. If you're photographing boats on a tidal bit of water like I am, it's often a good idea to take a normal exposure with a short shutter speed, because what you find is while you're doing the long exposure, the boat is moving all the time. The current will change its position, or the wind may cause it to rotate or bob up and down. And if you blend those two images later when you're processing, then you can have a sharp subject and still that background without the distractions in it.
The fifth and final step happens after you put the camera down. Post-processing isn't about faking a good photo. It's about refining the vision you had when you took the shot. For minimalism, editing is all about two main things: subtraction and emphasis. So first things first, play detective. Hunt down and remove any small lingering distractions. Use your healing brush or your clone stamp tools to meticulously clean your frame. Remember, in a minimalist photo, every single pixel matters. Next, you enhance the core elements. This is where you make your subject pop and give your negative space a specific mood. You can also play with high key or low key edits. In a high key edit, pushing the whites until they're super bright creates an airy, ethereal feeling. A low key edit, crushing the blacks and shadows, creates a moodier, more intense atmosphere. A black and white conversion is often a game changer, but Don't just click the black and white button, play with the individual color channels. By darkening the blues, for example, you can transform a sky into a dark, dramatic canvas that makes white clouds explode off the screen. The edit is where you fine-tune your photo's voice. It's that last 10% that turns a good idea into an incredible image. So don't skip it. Let me summarize the main points. The reason your minimalist photos might be a bit boring isn't a lack of skill. It's likely you've just been thinking about it backwards. You're not just looking for emptiness, you're hunting for a single powerful subject that can own the frame. You're not just leaving blank space, you're using negative space as an active tool to create emotion and guide the eye. You're simplifying with intent, building your shot on strong lines and limited colours. You're using your camera's technical settings to manufacture simplicity. And finally, you're editing with a purpose to polish your message. The next time you go out to shoot, I want you to focus only on these ideas. Find one hero subject, give it some breathing room, find the lines, control your settings, and polish it at the end. I promise you, if you start applying these principles, you'll stop taking boring photos and you'll start creating images that are clean, elegant, and packed with impact. So go out and have some fun with your camera, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.